So why is it a Unimog? I actually took over the house of my parents some years ago and started refurbishing it. And my father back then had a tractor which I used, to get the soil and stuff, and the materials out and back in to refurbish that. And at some stage he sold that tractor, and I thought I need something which does the purpose. And I always liked Unimogs also as a child, so I thought, okay, now that's the time, the reason to buy a Unimog. So my wife even kind of had to agree on that thing, and so I had the Unimog for a couple of years with the skip. Very helpful for building, very short wheelbase and so on, very handy to go into that small village I live in. And at some stage, I got this phone call from the government saying, hey, do you have a great project in the pipeline? And I kind of thought, yeah, sure, I do actually, because I do already have the Unimog. Many people go on holidays with Unimogs and so on. So why not building a cabin to the Unimog? And so the thing was that the government said, okay, we're going to support you with this R&D project if you do find all the partners, which I did. And it has to be done within 5 months. So from scratch, And I didn't have any planning at this very moment. So I thought, yeah, it should be possible. So this was a nice Monday, which I started. I downloaded the software, AutoCAD Fusion 360. And I started first learning how to use this CAD program by looking at some YouTube films. Again, I'm an engineer. I know how to use CAD programs, but it has been some time. So it was not like from scratch, but pretty much from scratch. And then I started drawing that thing. Not knowing, not having been at any places, for camper vans and so on, like exhibitions and what to do and so on. And got all the partners on board. Really lucky that I connected with the ZHAW University in Zurich, together with Salome and then Gabrielle, who, especially her, she as industrial design, came up with the shape. She actually produced 4 different shapes. One of them I didn't like. 2 of them were like rather on the difficult side to actually produce it. So this one, which is a fantastic shape in my opinion, was left, and I said, okay, this is possible to do within 5 months. And so the whole thing, from the first digital scratch or line on the computer screen until it's finished, was like 5 months, let's say 6 months, and then it was finished.
It was weekend?
Yes, exactly. I was actually still working beside that. So this was like mainly done on the weekends. I took some holidays off. I was working over Christmas also on it, on Christmas 18, 19. I was putting that thing together in the garage, and it was rather cold. It was like minus 20 degrees outside. I first had to insulate the garage so that I actually could work, not only for me, but also for the adhesives, because they don't like these low temperatures. And so it rolled off the production line in 2019. One part which might be of your interest is the cost of such a thing. So first of all, let's start with the car. If you want to buy a Unimog which is in good condition and runs and is not worked down or whatever, I think you're looking at 20,000 Swiss francs or euros, which is now anyway almost the same. Of course, you can buy them way cheaper, like for a couple of thousand euros, but then you really need to know how to fix those kind of things. You need to know how to weld, because I'm sure they are rusty. Otherwise, you're looking at 20,000 Swiss francs, euros for a nice Unimog which is working. The next part is, how much do you need to invest to actually make it look shiny, to make it look more like spot on to do the traveling and so on. I painted this cabin here, or I let it paint, and this sets you back around 4,000 euros. You need to take the whole thing apart for that. The fenders come off, the inside needs to go out, and so on. So that's another 4,000 or 5,000, I would say, depending where you do it. Then, I for example, put a new exhaust here. This is a stainless steel exhaust. This hopefully will last now the next 60 years. Sets you back also whatever 1,500 Swiss francs, euros the same these days. And then some bits and pieces. I put a train horn here. I put new rims on, which are the original, because when I bought it, there was not the original. So again, buying it's like roughly like 20,000, and then you can easily invest another 15,000 in like painting, modification, make it nice, put the original parts on. So you are at like 35, 40,000 euros for having in such a condition. Then speaking about the cabin in my case, as I said, was partially funded by the government. It was a research project. So the research project gives two things. One thing is that, of course, you get a bit of money, which supports you in the project, but also because you do the research, you also pay more than when you would just kind of weld it in your backyard. So altogether, this cabin here, the material cost, including the pop-off roof, which was the most important, most expensive thing, cost 40,000 Swiss francs, so 40,000 euros. Material cost only. But that includes all the electronic equipment, so including the solar panels, the lithium battery, and all that. So the electronics by themselves was already like, I think, if I remember correctly, like 3,000-4,000 euros or Swiss francs. And then if you are not able to do it by yourself, how many hours you put in and so on. In my case, yes, I did it by myself. But if you want to have this thing built for you, I would say altogether you're looking at like, if you do it the same way, you could do it cheaper. You could put in like cheaper electronics. You could use different panels which are not so sophisticated, you name it. But if you want to build it the same way, you're looking at 75,000 Swiss francs for the cabin. So together with the car underneath, which we were already saying, it's like 35-ish, 40-ish. So you are like altogether above 100,000 euros for this little garden house. Not cheap, yeah, not cheap. But the good thing is, every time you walk towards such a car, it puts a smile on your face. When you drive it, it puts a smile in your face. And when you pass people, wherever you go, they smile at you, they throw you a thumbs up, and you name it. Really, really cool. So, and yeah, it's not the thing if you want to travel like thousands of kilometers. It's really like the thing, if you enjoy the trip, you take the local roads, you take the slow way, and you just enjoy it. By the way, if you come to Graubünden, it's always a good place for holidays in Switzerland. Couldn't be any better. Table goes down. It's gonna be part of the support for the bed. Duvet and different pillows. And you can see here how this is all made, like very, I would say, sophisticated, you know, with the connections here, so that the boards actually stick together. There we have the electronic compartment, and this goes here again. So, and then this box here is kind of a storage box, but also it extends the bed on this end and produces part of a bedside table. Clicks in here, goes like this. We have the duvet. Here we go, ready to sleep. Electric compartment. So apparently the green thing is the battery, 165 ampere hours. Then all the fuses and cables and you name it, and charger and so on. The whole system is actually from Büttner Electronics. I kind of thought, because I built that whole thing, the whole cabin, within like a 5 to 6 months. I had no time to kind of get different pieces together, so I ordered everything from one company, so that made my life easier. I thank you very much for watching. If you want to build your own in the same style and so on, please get in contact with me. Look at the Instagram pictures, go on the website, and enjoy traveling.